gals. Good to see you. I should look here. I'm looking down at the monitor to see you. So welcome everyone for our warm-up practice. James is here to help, and what we'll do is we'll flow from warm-ups right into the asana practice. So probably there'll be a few other people joining us, and James is just adjusting the camera a little bit. Okay, very good. So James will be showing you options in the chair, and I'll show you options standing and on the floor. So one of the things when we're practicing warm-ups, there's a few things that we're focusing on. One is range of motion, so just moving the body and helping to support range of motion for the body. And the other thing that we're doing is literally warming up the body so that when we move into the asana practice, the body is able to move in and it helps to prevent injury. It gives you also awareness of your body, kind of where you are in this moment. And then the other thing that I'll say, one of the things that we practice in our yoga routines and our asana practice is moving the spine in 6 different directions. And this is a guideline for helping to keep the spine healthy and vibrant. So those movements are side to side, that's 1, 2, front and back, 3, 4, twist, 5, 6. So in every yoga routine, usually one way or another, all 6 directions will be brought into the practice. And when we're warming up, we're definitely doing that. So the first thing we'll start with is the full yogic breath. And this gives you a sense of where your whole body is at, but it also helps you bring your awareness and your focus into physical body, breath, and energy body. So we'll inhale, arms come up, expand wide. Visualize yourself gathering energy and guiding it down. I'm going to turn to the side through the body. Surrender, release. Knees are bent. We'll inhale, come up, expand, and exhale down. You can take extra breaths as you need. And really notice how the body feels as you stretch and move. So how's the back? How are the arms and legs? Inhale, expand. Let's go down one more time. Each time you come forward, really focus on surrendering, releasing. And then we'll inhale up, expand, and exhale, arms down. Very nice. And then we'll practice circle of light, circle of joy. So this is nice for upper body. We'll inhale, fingers interlace and elbows lift up. We exhale, hands move out in front. You can modify in any way you need. James will modify to protect his shoulders and his arm. Inhale up. Exhale as the arms come down. Use the mind to visualize light and joy surrounding you. Fingers interlace, and you inhale and bring the arms back just as far as is comfortable. Surrender, release. Arms float, palms together. Hands at the heart. Inhaling and exhale. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Stretch tall. Release, light and joy surround you. Fingers interlace, we inhale. Surrender, release. Beautiful. And hands back to the heart. So here, standing up, I'm going to step my feet slightly apart for side-to-side stretching. So we'll do this as a flow a few times. Left arm comes up and exhale over. And then we'll inhale up and exhale down. So we begin with movement before holding the stretch. And this gives you a sense of where's the body? Right? How's it feel to move into the stretch? How are the hips, the shoulders? Inhale as you come up and exhale over. Inhale up and exhale down. You might notice that as you're practicing, does it get a little bit easier each time? Are you able to kind of go into the stretch a little more easily? So the third time that we go in, left arm comes up, exhale over, we'll hold the stretch for a few breaths. And if you'd like, you can rotate your head to look up to the sky, reaching through the fingertips. And as you breathe, just see if you can sense the breath helping the body to open and receive the stretch. And then we'll inhale up and exhale down, and really honor your body. So don't go further than the body's ready to go. Right arm will come up, lift and lengthen, and exhale over. And rotate the head to look up to the sky, reaching through the fingertips. Deep, full breaths in and out through the nose. See if you can sense the opening in the body as you stretch and breathe. Very nice. Inhale up and exhale down. Beautiful. So I'm going to come on to hands and knees. James will probably stay in the chair, or it depends, James, it's cat-cow. So on the floor, with cat-cow, we arch the spine on the exhale and sway the spine on the inhale. And you flow with your own breath, exhaling into the arch and inhaling into the sway. You can hold either position if you like. If you do hold the position, keep the breath flowing. So just be sure not to hold the breath. And again, notice the back and really the whole body as you stretch and move. Very nice. We'll come back to neutral and we'll come into child's pose. So on the floor, the buttocks comes back, and we'll do extended child where the arms come out in front, and release the forehead to the floor. And take a few deep, relaxed breaths here. And then inhale, come up. Very nice. So now I'm going to come onto my back. James will stay in the chair, and we're going to stretch out the legs a little bit. So I think I'll turn this way, James, so you have more room. And you can, if you have a strap, you can use one. You don't need to use a strap for this. So the first thing we'll do is bring the left knee to the chest and just stretch. And you see you can do this seated or on the floor. So take some deep, full breaths in and out. And just really feel yourself, coming more and more into the body and the breath. Then we'll release and go to the other side. So we'll draw the right knee in. All of these can be a really nice way to get the body ready for the day. If you're looking to incorporate a simple yoga practice, warm-ups are a really nice way to get ready for the day. Same thing with evening. And then release. So now what we'll do is we'll stretch the left leg. So on the floor, the right knee's bent, the left leg extended, and you inhale up. And do you have room there, James? So here you could have your fingers, your hands holding the leg, or you could use a strap if you had one for your foot. Now this right leg can stay bent, or you could straighten that leg out. Deep, full breaths in and out. The stretch is really nice for releasing tension on the back of the leg, primarily. Swami Kriyananda said the energy on the back of the leg, the quality of that energy is anxiety and concern. So when we stretch here, the tension that's released also releases that type of quality of energy. And then we'll flex the foot and ankle rotations. Lift and lengthen and exhale down. And we'll go to the other side. Extend left leg out, or right leg out rather. Left knee is bent and inhale up, or in the chair as James is showing you.
Could you strap one side and just on the floor the other, just to show the difference?
Okay, he said he's showing you with and without the strap. And are you keeping your spine fairly neutral?
Yes.
Yeah, so James is keeping his spine neutral, which means the natural spine.
Including the neck.
Including the neck, which is similar to what my spine is doing on the floor. Deep, full breaths. And then we'll point and flex. And ankle rotation. Lift and lengthen. And exhale down. So from here we'll do figure 4. So we take, actually it's going to be the right leg over the left, or left leg over the right, sorry. And if you're on the floor, you could bring your knee in towards your body. You want to make sure if you're on the floor that you're not lifting up with the neck and the shoulders. So if you find yourself lifting, it's better to have your hands on the floor. You could put something under your feet. Or if you had a strap, you could bring a strap there. And release. We'll uncross and go to the other side. Nice, deep, relaxed breaths. And the foot that is that your hands are around, that can be close to the body, or you could lift that up a little bit. Changes the stretch slightly, so you just decide. Are you leaning forward, James?
Yeah, with a neutral spine.
Yeah, so James is leaning forward with the neutral spine. Is another way to deepen the stretch. Very nice, and we'll uncross. Okay, lastly, we'll do some gentle spinal twists. So on the floor, you will have your hands out, extended, and James, you can rotate. You can do this standing, where you just swing side to side, or you can just do gentle seated spinal twist. Is that making sense to you? So if you're on the floor, you'll exhale, release your knees to one side. And then when you'll inhale, bring them back to center, and exhale to the other side. We do this a few times just to warm up the spine. And the same thing with you, James, as you're holding, which is fine. On the floor, I usually go side to side a few times, and then I'll hold knees to the side. I'll hold the spinal twist for a few breaths. You could turn to look over the opposite shoulder, breathing deeply. Belly relaxed as you breathe. This is modified Jatari Parivartanasana on the floor. The affirmation is, I open to the flow of God's life within me. I open to the flow of God's life within me. And then we'll inhale, knees back to center, and exhale to the other side. Or if you're seated, you'll do the spinal twist to the other side. Few deep breaths. Body relaxed, breath relaxed. I open to the flow of God's life within me. And then we'll bring the knees back to center. You can rock them up and back. Roll to your right side and use your left hand to bring yourself up to standing for the beginning of our class. So those are our warm-ups, and each week I'll offer you 15 minutes of warming up the body to get ready for our asana practice. So tonight, welcome anyone who joined us in the middle or is just arriving. Our focus tonight is Anatomy of Yoga Part 2. And what Sai Ganesh will be talking to you about are the chakras. So he'll be going into depth about them. A little bit that I can say for our yoga asana practice is that the chakras are a system. So yes, there are individual chakras within the body, and each chakra has an element that it's related to, and it also has qualities that are related to that element. And in our yoga practice, all of our practices, including the asanas, but pranayama, everything that we do, right attitude, all of these practices help to awaken the flow of energy in the chakras and to draw that energy deep within the spine and to lift it here. So you hear us talk about that a lot. Whatever we're doing with the asana practice, this is especially true of Ananda Yoga, the whole chakra system is worked with in any routine. So when we're practicing, sometimes we do a very specific chakra routine. We're always working with all the chakras, right, versus one particular chakra. Tonight, as we're moving through the routine, I will highlight different chakra areas that are being stimulated. So for those who've done the warm-up, yes?
Just FYI, when you twisted before,
yes?
I wasn't hearing you just during that because your face was twisted.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, friends. I love that feedback, so I apologize. So when I twisted, my voice was too far away from the mic? Something like that, so I'll be careful. Thanks, that's very good feedback. Do let us know, because Keshava's helping. Okay, so full yogic breath flow. We often do start with that, and I did that in the warm-ups, but let's do just one or two of those. Because it brings us into our body and it moves the energy all the way through the body. So James will demonstrate in the chair. So we inhale up, we expand and stretch. Visualize yourself gathering prana in and guiding it down through the body as you exhale. Surrender, release. Inhale, come up. So the whole chakra system is being stimulated. The hands moving in front of the body, each system, right? Each chakra. Energy flows through. We surrender, release. Bend the knees. Inhale up. And exhale. Very nice. Okay. So let's come into Utkatasana, the chair pose. And one way to do this with the chair, James is like, help. One way to do this with the chair is to actually be in the chair, but as if act like you're starting to get up, and it will activate the legs. So it's a way to practice seated. Sometimes with chair yoga, we will do this outside of the chair. So I'm going to let James decide. So Utkatasana, this is first chakra. This is the legs. We inhale, rise up on the balls of the feet. Then we exhale, and you come down just slightly. So my heels are lifted off the mat. And it doesn't take very long usually for you to feel the strength that's required. This is a very strengthening pose for the legs. You can do this also against a wall. So if your knees are vulnerable and it's difficult to do this, you could practice with your back against a wall. This is the first phase of Utkatasana. The affirmation is, my body is no burden. It is light as air. Now the second phase is basically a deep squat. So that's a lot for the knees. So if you're going to practice that, you just want to make sure it works for your knees. You inhale, exhale, come down. Take your time. The hands are in front or resting on the top of the thighs. Again, the affirmation is, my body is no burden. It is light as air. My body is no burden. It is light as air. To come out of the pose, the hands come behind. We swing them up and you rise up. Exhale, arms down. And let's pause for a moment in Tadasana. See if you can feel the awakened energy in the legs. Rising up through the body. My body is no burden. It is light as air. Very nice, Utkatasana. So from here, let's practice Garudasana, the eagle pose. So with eagle pose, we want to be standing on the left leg, and the right leg's going to come around. Or in a chair, you can cross the leg. So then we will be bringing the right arm center point, and left arm comes up, and exhale down. And the hands come together. James will show you another variation. Once the hands are together, I lift my elbows slightly, and I bend my knees a bit more. In Ananda Yoga, we generally practice with the spine vertical versus tilted forward. It's not wrong to tilt the spine forward, but we tend to practice it not tilting. Next time I'll turn to the side to show you more what I mean. Garudasana dynamically awakens energy and draws it magnetically within, helping us to tap into the inner qualities of calmness and peace and serenity. The affirmation is, at the center of life's storms, I stand serene. At the center of life's storms, I stand serene. To come out of the pose, we inhale, uncross the arms, uncross the legs. Arms come up, sweeping up, and exhale down. And pause for a moment. Notice if you're standing or sitting differently. Can you feel the energy already shifting and moving, awakening within you? And your consciousness more centered within and lifted here to the spiritual eye. And we'll go to the other side. So now I'll turn to the side to show you. So now we're going to stand on the left leg and the right leg comes around. This foot could come off the floor. I tend to keep it on the floor. And then you're bending the knees. And this time the left arm is center point and the right arm comes up. Exhale. So the hands could be apart, backs of the hands together or front of the hands together. I lift the elbows up a little bit more, come down slightly with my knees. And keep the breath flowing. See if you can sense the power, dynamic energy of this pose. Garuda, Garudasana, the great eagle. At the center of life's storms, I stand serene. Breathing deeply, visualize what Yogananda called the inner abode of our own soul nature, untouched by the storms of Maya. At the center of life's storms, I stand serene. to come out of the pose, we'll inhale, exhale, uncross the arms and legs, and I like to bring my hands up above and sweep the arms down. And pause for a moment in Tadasana. See if you can relax the whole body completely as you stand. So only the muscles that are needed to support your stance are engaged. How relaxed can you be and still be seated if you're in a chair or standing? Guiding your awareness to the point between the eyebrows, mentally repeating, at the center of life's storms, I stand serene. Very nice. Okay, so from here, sorry, I just want to keep this where I can see it. I'm going to come down onto my knees for the Parigasana, the gate pose. James will turn, very nice. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is bring the left leg out to the side, and the front knee is towards the front. You could have your foot on the floor and your knee bent a little bit if you need. We're going to take the right arm and sweep that up. So this is where the warm-ups tonight helped us get ready for this. And then we'll exhale over and rotate the head to look up to the sky. Notice as you stretch and breathe, if the body already feels more open. Parigasana, the gate pose, Swami said that it awakens energy to flow, to surge actually up the spine. So imagine those chakras in this pose. The affirmation is, let's see, what is the affirmation? Thank you, Keshava. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Deep, full breaths in and out. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Very nice. We'll come out by inhale up. If you're on the floor, you can come into any comfortable seat. If Vajrasana works for you, pause for a moment in Vajrasana. Vajrasana is the firm pose. It helps us to be stable in our consciousness as well as our physical body. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Visualize the flow of energy strongly rising, moving through each of the chakras, awakening the positive qualities within each, bringing you to the seat of superconsciousness, the point between the eyebrows. Very nice. We'll go to the other side. So now the right leg will come out. Do you need more room, James? Okay. And so you just want to make sure that you feel comfortable. And we'll inhale this time the left arm up. And we exhale over to the side and rotate the head to look up to the sky. So the body is in the shape of a wave. I like to visualize the ocean waves sparkling, dancing in the sunlight, joyfully, playfully. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Mentally repeat this. It is what's happening in this pose. So we train ourselves to align with what's happening energetically. Aligning our consciousness, our thoughts. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Deep, full breaths in and out. Very nice. We'll inhale up and exhale down. And come back to Vajrasana. One of our practices with Ananda Yoga is awakening energy dynamically and then becoming very, very still and relaxed so that awakened energy can flow. Let's take a moment or two now in Vajrasana, in stillness, lifting the inward gaze to the point between the eyebrows. In stillness, I touch my inner strength. In stillness, I touch my inner strength.